to the Brilliant Minds of Idiots show.
Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll start it. Welcome everybody to the quarantine and chill version of the Brilliant Minds of Idiots. We have a full roster today. We've got Rio here. What's up, Rio?
Hey, what's happening?
We got Faxamillion, Shaz Mataz. What's up, Shazzy?
Hello.
We've got BK back in the building. I mean, her building, since we're quarantining, but hello, BK.
What up?
And we've got Ghost. Ghost is using technology to put himself over the internet.
Yeah,
We can see him.
I know, it's crazy.
I almost invited Ghost to come over and record in my house just to make sure he would show up.
Gonna stay in separate rooms, but
Yeah, I know. You can do it in the garage. I'll do it inside, but we'll get it figured out. So this is the first time we've all got together. This is the first time I've seen Shazzy's face in a really long time.
I know.
Ghost too. I saw Ghost early quarantine, but it's been a minute since I've seen Ghost. Me and Rio talk quite a bit, and I kind of talk. BK just posts pictures, so I see her face. So, how's everybody doing during this quarantine? What is this? Ovaltine? Yeah. How's everybody doing during this quarantine?
Man, I thought I could just catch up on some shows and do things, but I've just been bored. I've just been working more than I would usually work, probably.
That's the most Ghost fucking answer.
I get so bored. I've been just doing nothing. I'm trying to watch TV. I get bored, just sitting, staring at stuff, trying to look up stuff. I've been reading, like to read.
Wait, what do you read?
Mostly like investing and better yourself type books. Trying to improve myself, So when I come out on the other side of the quarantine, I'm a new version of me.
Yo, I found every Where's Waldo. Everyone, and I've been taking shits in all the bathrooms just to get a different perspective on shit.
Pun intended.
So my mother-in-law's bathroom really gets you like thinking about like your life and shit while you're shitting in her bedroom. It's weird.
There's a lot of wisdom in there and stuff. That's why.
Yeah. There's some ancient secrets in there that I'm not even understanding.
Some spirits.
Yeah. What about you, BK? What's
Fijian spirits guiding you?
I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z, so I thought I took it different.
I did watch that.
Yeah. What about you, BK? How's it going quarantine wise?
Terrible, partially. I'm being full-time employee, full-time mom, full-time teacher, part-time cook. It's awful. But I can't wait for school to start Monday.
What about you, Shaz?
I mean, like Ghost said, I've been working a lot more than I normally would. And I've definitely been cooking more. I don't know why. And I've had to do home workouts, which suck because the gym's closed and I hate it.
I started running quite a bit, and then
I'm not running in my neighborhood.
We'll see. My mother-in-law got scared.
Bang, bang.
So then I started running inside the house, and then once I realized I didn't have to leave the house, I just stopped running.
Monday, I started Insanity. And
How is that?
Hard as fuck.
Insane.
It's hard as and I'm 5. So today was the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6th day. And you do 6 days, 1 day rest. So that's crazy.
Wow.
It's pretty ridiculous.
It's insanity.
It's insane. That's what they call it. Insane.
Yo, Ghost, that facial hair is looking good on you, my man. You got to keep it. Keep the quarantine. It's the quarantine facial hair.
The rally beard. I actually trimmed, but I just rally until we get out of the quarantine.
I cut my hair for the first time in like 2 weeks last week because I looked in the rearview mirror when I got in the car for the first time and I said intruder out loud. So it was time. It was time for it to go.
Yeah, because it looks crazy, but yeah, it's my quarantine coat.
Quarantine coat. What are you, a dog? Relax. Rio, how's quarantine been for you?
I mean, it's been good and bad. Like Ghost said, mostly bored. Like when I do have free time, I notice that like I don't really have any motivation to like watch nothing. Or I've been working out here and there, but it's also been really good for me, at least, as like in the aspect of parenthood. Like I've been able to learn a lot about myself and my son during this time, just because we're spending so much time together, and I am, trying to be like the teacher, trying to work and trying to do all that. So it's like, trying to figure out how to like make myself more patient. And I don't think you could make yourself more patient, but just deal with, everything that's going on. So like, I mean, I've kind of been trying to better myself, but this shit's boring as hell. I know my liver is definitely not excited for this quarantine because it is getting the work.
Yeah. I'm drinking at like 10 a.m. like not healthy stuff. Like I'm
lowering my standard to 11.
I mean, if I put some vodka in like Simply Orange, at least it's Simply Orange and not like Sunny D.
That's a point.
Do that. It's like a push pop.
That's what I had with dinner. Vodka and Simply Lemonade.
I thought I was gonna come back like I was running. I ran like 7 miles, which is my best. I ran 7 miles, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm about to come back bad as fuck. I'm about to be killing these bitches." And then I started drinking, and I ain't ran since.
You were doing so good, though.
I know. I fucked it all
out there.
I'm a self-sabotager. That just means you know what, self-sabotaging, and like when people are like, "Oh, I did that because I'm a Virgo," or "I did that because..." You're the shittiest person ever. Like, I'm not responsible for my decisions. I did it because I'm a Cancer. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, I can't help it. It's out of my control.
Yeah, I didn't look, because when Mercury's in retrograde and as an Aries, I can't really fuck out of here. You're the worst. This doesn't actually. You know what? We can slide Shaz in this question, but this really goes to me, Rio, and BK. How many dumbass marriage fights have you had since none of you niggas are leaving the house? Because I've had just little squabbles where I'm just mad that the sun came out and that I'm just can't go. I can't leave the house.
Quarantine beef is a real thing.
Yeah, quarantine beef is like USDA. It's like choice.
Yeah.
But you don't have a choice on
this. Legit. Yeah. I find myself getting irritated more by the stupidest shit. It sounds bad to say I'm fortunate that my wife still goes to work, but I mean, it sucks because she could potentially get exposed to this disease. But it's nice to have some breaks.
That's the craziest shit ever. But I feel you.
Glad she's out there.
Yeah, I feel you. My wife had to go to the office every Friday, and then when it canceled, I was like, man, I'm so glad she don't have to risk her life. But then I was like, damn, she's here all Fridays now. That was like the one thing I had. And that I was like, oh, well, I'm glad she's safe, but and then she hit me with she was like, hey, good morning. I was like, is it a good morning? And that's when I realized, oh no, this quarantine beef is real. I gotta relax.
Yeah,
I gotta
it sure
relax.
is.
Has anybody had any quarantine hiccups? Like for instance,
Hiccups?
I
When I
had
drink too much.
all right, Rio, relax. Relax. I ordered Chipotle. I ordered Chipotle. I ordered two other things through Postmates, and they all got delivered to the wrong address.
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't had that.
And there's no customer service because it's quarantine. So it'd be like, oh, if you have an issue, call this number, and you call it and be like, due to the virus, we're not in. And I'm like, yo, so somebody just took my money and my food, and I gotta like fight for it. Like I'm a fat dude. I'll still run down on somebody and like throw the hands.
Yeah. That's when I realized my neighbors really ain't the greatest neighbors. I thought they were good people, but they took my son's chicken dinosaur nuggets and
Oh,
yeah.
They took your son's dinosaur chicken nuggets?
I mean, it was left for them. The Instacart driver dropped it off there, but I mean, if you didn't order it, I would have at least went to my immediate neighbors and been like, "Yo, did you guys order something?"
I would have looked at anybody who has a damn kid and be like, "Yo, are these dinosaur chicken nuggets yours?"
Yeah, if it was regular chicken nuggets, I probably
So
it felt like it was trash.
Yeah,
you don't get to just walk up and be like, "Oh, dinosaur." Oh, fucking yeah! I'm gonna eat these these Tyrannosaurus Rex and these pterodactyl chicken nuggets. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
Today, my son hasn't had McDonald's since like all this popped off. So today I was like, man, you want to go get some McDonald's? He was like, yeah, Dad, let's go. And this is to point out and highlight how privileged this young man is. We were going to McDonald's. I was like, son, what do you want? It was like 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And he goes, Dad, I want a McGriddle. And I was like, you don't want a Happy Meal? Nah, I want a McGriddle, Dad. I was like, all right, cool. Breakfast has been served all day for a couple years now. So he's used to it. He's accustomed to it. We pull up and I go to order it. And they said, yeah, we stopped serving them at 10:30 now.
Was he mad though?
He was so sad. He was trying not to cry.
It done messed up poor Rio Jr.'s day.
But
oh man,
I cried over a McGriddle too.
Yeah, but he's lived in a world where McDonald's breakfast has been served all day.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy
for sure.
to me.
What do you guys think the biggest adjustment you've had to make for the Rona?
My hair not getting colored. Not being able to go to the gym. Going to your house, Zero. Those two things.
Mine is I went to the butcher today to get some chicken. And I had to wait outside for like an hour because they were only letting in like 3 people at a time. And this being patient, that patience is the biggest thing that I've easily had to adjust. Like going to Costco and not being able to walk right in.
Yeah.
Like having to wait in line for 30, 45 minutes just to get in that bitch to do my shopping. I think I sent it to everybody, maybe not Shaz, but yesterday I went out to supermarkets and shit. I went and got gas. Gas was $2.11. I went and got some milk, which was $2.49. And then I saw a 6-pack of Charmin toilet paper that was $9.99. And I realized that the world was fucked up at that moment. This shit is topsy-turvy.
They were the mega rolls, though. They were the mega rolls.
I don't give a fuck how many megas they were. I'm not paying $10 for 6 rolls of toilet paper. No way. Not if I'm eating Taco Bell. and shit. That is the fattest thing I did. I did get some Taco Supreme flavored sunflower seeds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's the fattest thing I
That
did
sounds
while on the road.
terrible.
I'm gonna
I
tell
don't
you
know
right
if you're
now.
gonna say that, BK,
Why?
because I don't know
'Cause-
if you'll ever turn down Taco Bell.
This is true.
Well, also,
And it was Taco Bell branded. It was Taco Bell branded Taco Supreme.
Oh, so they weren't knockoff seeds?
no.
No.
They're Taco Bell. No, they have the bell
I retract
on
my
it.
statement.
Yeah. They're delicious for sure. So let's get into what has everybody been watching on TV? Because Tiger King is a huge thing for sure. So we got to talk about BK's King. Ghost, did you watch Tiger King?
Nope.
He's been
Okay.
bettering himself.
Yeah, I know. He been reading
I've-
investment books and shit.
I've watched less TV probably than I have in years.
Ghost. So the Tiger King. Does anybody want to give Ghost the synopsis? BK, give him the synopsis. Tell us about your king. We had Black Panther. You got Tiger King.
Why do I have to have the white dressed psycho?
Don't ask me. Ask your people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell you.
The podcast, I think, was still better than the documentary, but
I agree
that's
with that.
just me. And because I love Wondery. Wondery is the one that produced it, and I love most of their podcasts.
I agree with that as well.
But Tiger King is a psychotic zoo owner. Zoo.
Zoo is
That's
more
loose.
of-
No, Zoo
yeah.
is loose. A
Very.
big cat zoo.
Yeah.
So he only
Yeah.
has like tigers and lions and
Bears, oh my.
And like,
he did have a bear. He had some ligers
Yeah.
too, which I thought was I thought they were
Neverland.
mythical. Yeah, I
Did
thought
he
they were
have
mythical.
ligers? No, I thought the other guy, the dog, whatever guy, had.
Oh no, don't jump. Let's start
Okay.
on. Let's start off
More?
on him. Yeah, let's start on him. So Ghost, buckle up, because white people be tripping.
Yeah, so this guy bought a bunch of tigers, bred a bunch of tigers, sold off the little tigers, had a petting zoo so people could sit around and take pictures with the tigers. This fool was tripping. All while
Now-
he's running a meth lab
Don't forget, he's
and
also
turning straight men gay.
there. It is.
Doing what? What was the last part? What was that? Can you
Turning-
repeat that last part?
Turning straight men gay.
Men
Yeah,
meaning
that-
multiple Ghosts.
He's doing,
Men
like,
meaning
tiger-
most.
Well,
Tiger
3 of them
hypnosis?
probably.
No, meth hypnosis. Meth hypnosis.
yeah.
Ghost.
Wow,
He
I
had
knew something I didn't like about it. I know it's bad for you, but
he had multiple husbands too. He had multiple straight husbands.
of course you did.
Yeah,
At the
two
same time.
straight husbands at the same time. Yeah.
Now this is fiction, right?
No,
No.
absolutely
No.
not. No, this is
No.
autobiographical.
Here goes face.
I'm sorry, Ghost.
In these times, these
Now-
are the best things.
Ghost. This is
Picturing, like,
hold on,
I'm
Ghost.
picturing
Before
like a Jungle Book / Neverland.
With a mullet.
With
no.
With
Ghost
a mullet and meth.
Wait. In Oklahoma.
in Oklahoma,
And butt sex.
Ghost.
that makes sense. Though. I mean, that's the only part that makes sense. Unless
The
it was
met-
Florida. Florida also,
There is parts in Florida.
of course.
Yes,
Okay, go ahead,
and North
BK.
Carolina.
That too. Wow.
Yeah.
And
I actually
wild
almost went to
ride.
that park.
So, oh yeah, you did know somebody who's also weird from Oklahoma.
No, we
that
almost
is
went
right.
to that big cat sanctuary place.
Oh, in
good thing you
Florida?
didn't.
No, in
Oh,
Oklahoma,
fucking
we
Carol
almost did, but it was like a
Baskin.
2-hour drive, and we didn't go.
And
I could've
not to
seen
mention,
Joe.
it's like $400 for a ticket.
Yeah,
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
it was crazy
Yeah.
expensive.
Ghost. So the Tiger King, who the biography is based on, he's a mullet, gay big cat owner who carries a gun everywhere he goes. Right.
Yeah.
He's got 2 husbands. They're both straight. one husband leaves for
not
the
anymore.
secretary. Yeah. Well, one husband leaves for the secretary. One husband kills himself on accident, and then he gets
Shot
married
himself in the
again.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
not
and
nice.
at his funeral, the Tiger King goes, "Remember when he used to put his balls in our face? That was so funny."
Oh my
Best
gosh.
eulogy ever.
He just loved.
That's
he just
the-
loved whipping
Wait,
out
but
his
you-
balls. Everybody
Love
would
putting
tell
them in
you
our
he
mouth.
loves-
That's all he missed.
You also
He
told
didn't
us-
miss his cooking. He didn't miss the camaraderie, how they played with the Tigers together. That was his one memory. That's what he took away.
What was that, Shaz? What
said
what
you
is what
gotta
guys
tell-
catch him?
You also got to catch him up on that bitch Carol Baskin.
No, I
And
was
don't
getting
forget
there.
Doc Antle.
Yeah, I was
Jazzy
getting there.
with the attitude. That bitch, Carol.
So Ghost. So this tiger sanctuary is in Oklahoma, and in order to make more money, what they would do is they would take the cats on mall tours, and they would stop at malls in all these different cities in order to have the cats be petted by regular ass people. Well,
When you
Carol
said mall tours, I laughed because I thought they were taking him around mauling people.
That bitch got mauled.
almost.
Actual mall.
A couple people got mauled actually.
You can get your Cinnabon
Yeah, you can get your
and your
Cinnabon
tiger.
and a tiger pet in the
Yeah.
same place.
Mm.
So enter this bitch Carol Baskin, right? And bitch Carol Baskin has her own big tiger park in Florida, and it was on TV. It was called Big Cat Rescue, right? And
It was. It is. It's
Yeah,
still
you're right.
alive.
And that bitch Carol Baskin's trying to take down the Tiger King, because she doesn't like that the Tiger King has cats in cages, but she got cats in cages,
Cages.
right? And she's a millionaire, because she killed her. I'm sorry. Allegedly,
She fed
She
her
fed
husband
him
to them
to the
tigers.
tigers.
she fed her husband
Yeah.
to the tigers in her park because that nigga was about to leave, and he was a billionaire, and she inherited that nigga's money, and,
Wow.
or not a billionaire. She was a
Also
multi-millionaire.
enjoyed multiple.
Mhm.
Well, his
Multiple
trust
relationships.
was changed overnight. So
Yeah.
her husband, when he died, her trust was changed overnight. Like who the executor of the trust was, who was the person that was in charge of all his money. Like everything changed overnight miraculously. It's the weirdest set of circumstances that surround somebody's murder, because he was murdered.
Yeah, he was murdered, but you want to know how he was murdered? He was murdered by that bitch Carol Baskin. And
Allegedly.
so the second part of that bitch Carol Baskin, it was that bitch Carol Baskin's lifelong goal to end the Tiger King. Well, the Tiger King started shooting internet videos and referring to that bitch Carol Baskin as that bitch Carol Baskin. And then he pulled out like a gun and shot like a inflatable blow up doll. Like if that bitch Carol Baskin comes on my property, bang, and shot the inflatable shit online.
He would record it.
Yeah, so that bitch Carol Baskin winds up suing him and all this shit. And then there is a third big cat sanctuary, and I use that shit so loosely.
No,
Well,
this
this
one is
guy-
a cult.
Yeah, this guy in South Carolina has all the it's almost like Scientology with cats, but also sex slaves.
Oh, God.
He's got it
Buzz.
figured out.
Scientology, no, the dude in South Carolina, he's got the world in his hands.
Yeah.
So he lets like 18-year-old women come in, and then
An
they work.
intern.
Yeah, they
No,
work
They don't
24
get
hours.
paid.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back. So every one of these people, Ghost, have a scam, right?
Yeah.
So Joe Mullet, the Tiger King, he just goes to like the bus stop, the first bus stop after people get out of jail, and anybody who's homeless, he's like, "Yo, do you want a job?"
I got you.
And then
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
No,
he
that's
and he
funny.
gets it, right? But at least he was given like crackheads and shit like a second chance.
A chance.
He was at least paying his employees.
That bitch Carol Baskin, everybody's a fucking volunteer. And she has a multi-million-dollar operation and everybody's a volunteer.
And but hold on too though. He might have paid his employees, but they also ate out the trash.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ghost.
that
They
happened
also
too.
they got leftover
Scraps.
meat. They got leftover
Walmart.
meat from Walmart that was expired, and before feeding the cats, they would just let them take whatever they wanted home to eat it.
Yeah, they got all of Walmart's old meat, like all of Walmart's expired hot dogs and lunch meat and
Yeah,
ground
no,
meat.
not the good shit. Not the good shit. Yeah, they got the bar ass hot
Not the
dogs
grade
that
A.
were
Yeah.
expired.
He
The
might get
Hoffies.
USDA.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So the dude in South Carolina, he has a big cat sanctuary, but his is like a sex cult. So he has a bunch of like young ladies living there, and
Where
then they all
get
have
boob
their
jobs.
but they all have to wear like skimpy outfits and have their own separate houses. So it's almost like Utah in South Carolina, but they all don't live together. They're just called like spiritual like advisors. So he's smashing all them as well.
Yeah.
So Mullet and the sex cult are kind of like friends, and they all hate that bitch Carol Baskin. But that bitch Carol Baskin is like the holier than thou people, except for she fed her husband to the lions and
Tigers.
shit. Oh my. So Ghost, as you can see, this is really
Yes.
entertaining. It's a 7-part series.
Yeah.
But BK's people be wilding.
Yeah,
Wiling. I put
You
the
gotta
G
get
at the end.
Yeah.
No G.
They are wiling. No G's.
Some under control.
Yeah. And that was like the biggest thing that was like on social media for like a week or two. And I had listened to the podcast, so I knew kind of what to expect. I didn't expect I knew that they were like hillbillies and shit. I didn't know that everybody in Oklahoma didn't have any teeth that were on that like that reservation.
No, they
That was
just
the
all
whole
did meth.
fucking town.
You didn't tell him about the guy the woman that is now a man who got his arm bitten off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so there was one of the chicks, guys. There was one of they at there was a they at
A person.
Oklahoma. Yeah, at the Oklahoma one, and she got her arm bit off through the fence. And she believed in the Tiger King so much, she went back to work in less than 7 days.
But
After having her arm.
Hated the rest of it.
Yeah.
What's funny
Brainwash.
though is immediately he was recording a web series when all this took place, and so they're shooting live as this happens, and someone walks in and says, "Yo, Sarah just got her arm bitten off," and he looked at him and he said, "I will never fucking financially recover from this."
No. What he does is he goes home, gets a paramedic jacket.
Thank you.
And then while he's on the radio, he says, while this bitch is getting airlifted to a hospital, he says, "Yo, I'm never going to recover from this financially."
And then he goes into where
Priorities.
there's people who are trying to get in, like buy tickets. So I can either give you your money back, or I can give you, like, you guys can come in on another day because one of our employees just got their arm bitten off.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
And
you
that
didn't
was-
sell tickets to go see her arm.
Right?
They should have kept it. I thought they would keep it. Just like put it,
Well, they
just put
tried
it in
to
like one of those
reattach it.
jars. No, she said that it would take like 12 months of surgeries. And she said, no, I need to go back right now.
No, they
And she's just like, no.
attached it, and then they said that you're going to need more surgeries
That's
in
right.
order to keep it.
That's
and she
right.
said, "Fuck it, let's chop it
BK
off."
It
knows
was
her
so
king.
gross. It was so gross to Ghost because it was
Alright.
just like it was a little
It was like
nub
her
like
elbow.
this, but the whole time you saw the nerves firing off.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, it was like this. It was weird.
I wanted
It was
them to
weird.
blur it out. I wanted them to blur
But
it
you
out.
couldn't stop looking. But you couldn't stop looking.
No, I couldn't.
But you were
Rio's so
staring at it.
Rio's so stupid.
Yeah, like people like that who are like the cult people and driving, like it's awful, they're crazy, but almost at times I'm watching it and I'm trying to I'm jealous that they can manipulate people so easily. Like I wouldn't be so evil with it, but I wish I could have some of that skill set.
You
know,
lied.
No, I thought about that though. I thought about that looking at the people in Oklahoma, and I thought about that with
If
the
someone
people in
gets arm bitten
Florida.
off and they still come back and loyalty, like what do I have to do? What do I have to say?
You got to inspire
arm
someone.
bitten off
But
and still
You
come
got to
back,
inspire
and
them.
it's 100% my fault.
But there's levels to the manipulation though, which is why it's crazy.
Oh, I know it's a bunch.
Like the Oklahoma one, I was like, okay, I get it. Everybody's on meth. I'm just willing to like touch your balls and put them in my mouth, I guess, for some meth and some weed and a little bit of money. I get that. The Florida
And
one
the
was
cool
a little
toys.
weird.
Let's stop there, but
The Florida one was wild just because it made so much money and all these people were volunteers that work in the sanctuary, and they were kind of like excited to be volunteers 6-7
Which
days
one
a
is
week. That bitch Carol Baskins, she didn't
So,
pay
like, I
anybody. They
think
were all
it was-
volunteers.
I think it's the way she presented it. It was a
Status.
sanctuary, and she was with
yeah.
PETA, and she was like, the way she presented it was she's saving these animals, and look at the Tiger King, he's
They're brainwashed.
profiting off of them. Yeah,
Ultimate
So-
saleswoman.
exactly.
I need
she
those
was.
skills.
She was smart.
PETA was also
You should read her
something I
book.
thought about because PETA
All
was
these people
I'm
were
reading.
terrible, though.
That's next.
no,
Yeah,
all
they're
these
all
people were
terrible.
awful. They're all terrible.
They're all fucking, yeah.
But PETA's also really bad. Niggas are dying in the street, and you care about these motherfucking tigers in cages. And I'm not saying that these tigers in cages don't need to be released. But does PETA ever say anything about people?
No,
No. Well,
Like-
no.
Like that's
that's not their
I'm-
job.
no, it is kind of. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you guys are saying and implying because they're like people against, the treatment of animals or whatever.
The ethical treatment.
Yeah, but these animals don't get proper treatment without the people there. So you still should
But-
care about people.
But people who follow that movement don't see that.
I know.
Well,
I hate it.
I talk to people all the time that say if they had a choice to say, because people obviously have the ability to reason and know right from wrong and everything, and they say I'd save my dog before I saved just a random person or something. And I just like,
Oh, those
but
people
like
tripping.
human life isn't quite wouldn't be like a random human and their pet and they're choosing the pet.
I'm
And I
just saying a tiger is not going to make you. We can make tigers feel better. A tiger ain't coming up with a vaccine for tiger flu. We have to do that shit. So you should still care about people.
But they got that tiger in the Bronx Zoo that's got the corona.
That is right.
I just want to know why that motherfucker got a test.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
Like,
Right, and we got
that's
people who
the
can't get
biggest question
tests.
there.
Yeah.
Them niggas in New York tested a tiger and let all them niggas in the Bronx die.
Yeah. I know there's someone that
That tiger has white privilege.
yeah, exactly.
It was a white
It was a white
tiger.
tiger.
Was it?
Siegfried
It was a
Roy
white tiger?
No.
Oh, I was about to say. I was about to turn this goddamn podcast off and go home. I'm about to go
You
to
are
sleep.
home.
I know. You're right.
Yeah.
So we ain't did a podcast in a bit, right? So we're gonna go all the way back, and we're just gonna talk about a bunch of shit that has happened since we had our last podcast and now. Let's see. Start with some of the I guess kind of seriouser stuff. Lynching is now a federal hate crime. That happened during the Rona. I don't know why it took till 2020 for that to happen, but thank you. I appreciate that. I don't. I don't know why that wasn't a hate crime before. I think you gotta hate a nigga to hang him.
Maybe
Oh.
since it's federal now, obviously there's some states that we know probably it wasn't a crime and maybe encouraged still, but in certain areas, but maybe federal because there's only a couple states that didn't look at it that way. I don't know.
Does the president like have anything to do with like that bill? Because it's federal.
Well, I don't think anybody thinks about that. I mean, that's just something that kind of, I don't know. I have no idea. It's not. I wouldn't be on the top of the list.
I wouldn't be if I was black as a president.
The Senate or the House would introduce a bill. It's not necessarily that the president would have been the one to put that forth. It's more that the House or the Senate would have to draft the bill and then put that up.
Okay. All right. I guess. I still think it's crazy, but
yeah,
I guess. Harvey Weinstein's going to jail. How now everybody can stop talking about. Oh, did he get the Rona too?
Yeah, he got the Rona. I think so.
He about to die so quick.
Or was it just some?
He might have the Rona.
I think it was him. I think he did get the Rona.
I know the Rona is tearing through like the jail population, so they're letting some people out. Yeah. Must be nice.
Yeah. Zero's favorite rapper got out because of that.
Oh yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine got left out, and people are like trying to talk about him as if nobody gives a fuck about that. Like real people don't give a fuck. I know people like to play this internet game and
not right now
Instagram and shit, but I don't want to hear nothing about no goddamn Tekashi 6ix9ine. I don't care what Shade Room has to say or Hollywood Unlocked or who's the fat dude who always be talking on the internet about rap?
Perez?
No.
Not academics.
Academics. I don't want to hear that nigga talk about his boo that they went skinny dipping in like Costa Rica or wherever before he told on everybody. Like, don't try to re-break him into society and shit. Like, fuck out of here.
Humanize him.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Dwayne Wade's daughter. That was a big thing that had happened before we were able to record again. So Ghost, Dwayne Wade had his son originally, and his son's about, I think, like 10 to 13, somewhere in that age range. And BK got the Rona. And their son, they're allowing their son to transition into being a woman, and they're allowing him or her, they're allowing her to kind of like make their own decisions. And there was a bunch of like stars and shit who came out and was like, why would you let your son do that? And like all this crazy stuff. And I just didn't understand why anybody cared, but what was everybody's take on that?
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. I'm surprised I didn't hear about that. But I mean, what do? You wait till they're 18 and do it on their own, and then isolate yourself from them, and whether you agree with it or not, you kind of.
Well, the Wades were super supportive in their son's decision. It was just everybody else who was like what? Like people were trying to make this like a black male thing. Like I don't know why everybody's trying to take this and expound on it so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the child is. There's no benefit to it for them except for living the lives they feel like they maybe are more comfortable living. It's not like they're going to be allowed to have all this super advantage or something. It's just the people try to make it, of course, political and things like that, but it's not. I mean, they only care about the support of really their parents. That's the most important thing, honestly.
While everyone was making these judgments about Dwayne Wade's daughter, when his daughter speaks, he definitely seems very educated on the topic for somebody who's that age. He seems like he understands kind of what the ramifications. I mean, I don't think he understands, or I don't think she understands the lifelong ramifications, but she understands the ramifications today in her current life and everything else. So it's not like she doesn't have like some type of like knowledge or like she's not ignorant to what she's doing. She's not doing it on impulse. Like it seems like they've talked to her and kind of laid it all out. But I just didn't understand why everybody else had a strong feeling. Like whether or not you agree with it, I don't understand why. Even if you didn't agree with it, why wouldn't you just tell Dwayne Wade, yo, good luck. I hope it works out. I hope your daughter's like fine. I hope your daughter is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why, like, Lil Boosie was really mad.
Well, he should be mad at his last album. I didn't hear it, but I know it was
You didn't hear it? You didn't hear it, but I'm saying?
You don't have to hear it. I know it's awful. I can't stand him.
Yeah, Lil Boosie. There was a couple other, like, prominent Black people.
So I know, like, the argument that they would present would be that, like, that I'm going to assume they're coming from this train of thought because I've seen it, and it's there are certain Black people out there that do think that when a Black man is gay or trans, it feminizes the Black men in general, and they feel that the feminization of Black men makes black fathers, Black men, just kind of weaker within that culture. So I know that if I had to guess, I would say that that's kind of the angle that they're looking at it, because that's kind of what I've seen.
But to think that one
not just
person,
putting a perspective.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
But that's why I think that's why I think that Black men's argument, we're all not a monolith, right? Like all the people who, like, the DC sniper doesn't speak for all Black people, and neither does Dwayne Wade and Dwayne Wade's family. You know what I mean? Like on both sides. And I think that's the bigger thing, where even my whole life I've always been told, like, oh, you're not Black enough. You know what I mean? Like the way I speak and what I do. Oh, you're a white boy. Da, 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 da. And I just never understood that. I mean, I got bills that are still like past due and people calling me like I'm still Black. I got Black tendencies. You know what I mean?
But that's not necessarily falling in line with the feminization of Black men and making.
No, I get that. But that's what I'm saying, though. It's just the whole thing.
I mean, they're kind of together, but you know, because the Blackness does make sense. I do get that perspective as well, but you know, they're just saying like more the. I can't quite put it as eloquently.
I mean,
that they may have.
I think we understand, though. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, I know, but I just wish I had more information. But usually when I see that stuff, I'll kind of look at it and I keep it moving because that's not. I don't particularly agree with it.
It's just a level of ignorance that is it's shocking a little bit to think that if one Black person does something just because they're famous, right? Like, because Dwayne Wade allowed his daughter to live her truth, that has anything to do with Day and them. You know what I mean? Like none of it makes sense, in all honesty. In my opinion, none of it makes sense because we're all individuals, no matter what race, creed, religion, or whatever. And I think that's the bigger thing to me, is just allowing yourself to think that one person has a bigger impact on Black people in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Rio made a good point. I don't know if there's so much thinking it's a mark against maybe all Black people, but I think as another Black person, hip hop culture a while ago is kind of, as of a while ago, is, anything, that's homosexual or anything like that is just not cool and soft, and it's been that way for a long time, especially in the Black community. But I think that where they're coming from also is that you allowing that in your household and from your child is kind of bad parenting, because you're allowing them to, you're kind of being an enabler, and allowing them to be soft and allowing them to have behavior that's not normal, even though we're in 2020, but allowing them to do something that's maybe not normal, in their eyes, or not right. It's kind of almost like you're not punishing them for as if they were, doing something that's actually bad, So they're looking at it as an act of, maybe you stole something or assaulted someone. And that's kind of the equivalent of what they're looking at, is something like that. And you're not punishing this person in your house, and you're enabling them to get away with it. So I think they still are kind of in a vintage mindset that this is not a thing that's happening and that is real. They don't understand, and you can't, something like that. I can't understand. I'm okay with it, but I can't understand that feeling that child is having. And if you don't like it or respect it, you're definitely not going to be able to understand or wouldn't condone it in your house. So it's just an ignorant mindset, like Zero said. And there's going to be people like that, but it's good that he has the support of his family. That's good to hear. That's the most important.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had the support of the majority of people who heard the story. But I was just taken aback why people would. I think we talked about it on last episode too, where Pastor Troy was talking about some like a homosexual couple in like TGI Fridays, and how that automatically meant TGI Fridays was supporting like gay people. Like, no, they like chicken tenders too. They're still people. We're all people. It doesn't matter what another person does in their house,
right,
because it shouldn't, because it doesn't affect me, period.
And that's similar. It's a knock against the brand. And in that case, it's TGI Fridays. In this case, it was the brand, which is the parenting of Dwayne Wade. I mean, it's kind of like a knock against that brand and that system. And it's just ignorant and it's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's in 2030, there'll still be people like that. So
for sure, ignorance will always be there. Yeah. What do you think, Shaz, about that whole situation?
I didn't really. I myself hadn't heard about it, but it's like you got like Ghost is saying, it's like an ignorance thing. I mean, so what if that's Honestly, I don't care. As long as you're not hurting anybody, do what you got to do. Like, it should be accepted.
I mean, unless you got meth. If you got meth, you put those balls in my mouth.
Yeah, unless you're doing
some tigers.
Yeah, if you got meth and tigers. You got meth and tigers and an AR-15, put them balls in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm definitely never watching that show now.
You guys forgot to add, he also ran for president.
Yeah, he did run for president. That is right. That is right. Mm-hmm. Also, a couple of things with the Rona. Let's get back to the Rona a little bit, since it is the biggest thing we got going on. We bailed out businesses less than 30 days before the Rona even was in a full effect, and that bothered me. Like Live Nation. For anybody who doesn't know, Live Nation is a company that we have a couple of concert venues in Sacramento, smaller ones like Harlow's and Ace of Spades. Those are Live Nation venues. So I get why they need a bailout, because they still have to pay their rent and everything else. But their bailout was like $150 million, right? And I thought that sounded plausible,
pretty high,
productive. No, because Disney got a bailout. Number one, Disney got a bailout by itself is insane, because I thought you niggas just printed money with Mickey Mouse's face on it.
And Mickey we trust.
But their bailout was $5 billion. And I don't understand why, number one, we had to bail out Mickey Mouse. Sell that shit to Jeff Bezos, and he can give you $5 billion for Mickey Mouse, Pluto, and Donald Duck. I don't understand why we use taxpayer money for that. Carnival Cruise Line got a bailout.
Absolutely, don't bail them out.
And they're
the cause of the Rona.
Well, they're not. But they're not even in a U.S. business, I don't think. Like all their boats. Yeah, all their boats are in like St. Lucia and St. Thomas and all these other places, so they don't have to file taxes here. So the last thing you should have got is taxpayer money. And I just realized that I think me, Rio, and BK were texting one day, and I think Rio said it best: is socialism for rich people. Everybody else, nigga, you gotta get that shit out the mud. Like,
Get the rugged capitalism.
Yeah, like we're gonna get a $1,200 one-time check, but Disney, even though they shut down every park, even though they got all this other money that they could be, using, like what happened to the profits? Like less than 30 days in my mind, unless it cost 150 billion to run your business, I don't understand why you would have got a bailout less than 30 days of the crisis, especially after you started laying off people. Like if we're giving out these businesses these huge bailouts and people are still getting laid off and filing unemployment, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it, getting this so early, that lets you know that they knew how serious it was. Probably well before we knew. Or maybe a lot of people
for
knew.
Sure. It doesn't shock me anymore that Disney CEO stepped down in like January.
Left. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it is crazy, though. I mean, and the stimulus check, it's supposed to stimulate the economy, but that doesn't exist right now. So I mean.
Well, $1,200, that's rent in New York City.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah.
That's like a third of rent in New York.
Yeah. For a bathroom.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what is $1,200? What is a one-time check? Especially if you look at everybody else around the world giving 70, 80, 90% of people's salaries. And we just got a one-time check and people are like, yo, that's my president. Like, yo, we are so stupid. As a population, we're so stupid.
Why wouldn't they just put all that money, which is what is like $2 trillion? I think 1 or 2 trillion. Why wouldn't they put it into like, and I said this a while ago, but I think mass testing would be like the easiest way to open up the economy the quickest, because if you put $2 trillion into testing, we could have started this weeks ago. It's a little easier to start easing people into jobs at least. I mean,
well, it's easier. It's easier for people to know. If you got the Rona, then stay your ass home. You would know at least. Right now, everybody's afraid because you can catch it.
Afraid of the
But that's
unknown.
because we don't know.
Right.
If we all knew, and a motherfucker could stay home and make sure he passes his test before he leaves, that's.
Yep. Or isolate yourself if you don't have the test or don't have access or whatever. Missed whatever the local test it was, and stay home for 2 weeks. And isolate in between if you're going in crowds, but. I mean, not knowing and then opening back up the economy slowly. So, I think they got the 3-phase plan. The first phase is like restaurants and movies and gyms. It's going to spike if people don't know if they have it or not. They're going to go back to.
I think they're basing that the phases off of the amount of hospital beds that are open. So they're not basing it based on the test. They're basing it based on the test and the amount of hospital beds and care that we can give. And that to me, it just seems like, so you're not testing everybody. Yeah, you're not anticipating everybody. You're just, so if there's a spike, we can reset this shit all back down. And that to me it's stupid because it's going to come back. This shit's all going to come back.
Yeah, it's
Florida exists. And as long as Florida exists and it's connected to the rest of the 50 states, it's coming back. It's coming back. Shout out to all 5 of our shout out to all 5 of our listeners in Florida and that bitch Carol Baskin. Shout out to her. But yeah, there's a lot of shit with this Rona. I'm sure I'm gonna think of some shit later in the show that I want to talk about too. It's just like everyone always championed like the stock market and shit, and then this shit like stopped, and then you realize that the stock market don't really mean shit to regular people. The stock market only means shit to like rich people, and rich people are always the people who are always gonna like make the rules and make the forecasts, and it's never some nigga named Terrell who's on the block talking to Goldman Sachs and talk about like what the forecast is on Apple stocks. It's always some rich dude named Ted. You know what I mean? And Ted knows how to work the fucking system, and he knows how to what needs to be done in order to boost the economy. And this shit just let me know that our economy is a bunch of fucking. It's like that that game that used to get played in like New York subways where you have to find the ace of spades and it's cards and the dude shuffles the cards and motherfuckers always choose wrong. That's what our economy feels like to me. It's like just smoke and mirrors. And fuck Disney. That's all I'm saying. Another thing that I thought was super important that happened since our last podcast, the nigga who, the dude who licked all the ice cream in the supermarket and put it all back on the shelf, he got 30 days in jail. Not long enough, but at least he's doing jail time.
That's more than I thought he would have got. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll tell you what, I feel like I dodged a bullet because earlier this year, I don't know when this. I don't know what. I don't know when. Just
Rio
a couple
doesn't
times.
like
Just a
cream.
couple.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I would have fucked everybody up and myself. That's a
Wouldn't have been
suicide
worth
bomb
it.
if I've ever heard one. That's a suicide bomb for me. I'm going
we
down with everyone.
We bought some hot fudge from the store one day. This was before everything happened with the Rona, and my wife brought it home and we opened it and there was a finger mark taken out of the top, and it was the most terrible thing ever. I never wanted to encounter this. It was fucking terrible. It was gross.
And then Rio ate it. That's how the story ends. That's how that story ends.
We tossed that right out.
Yeah, did it taste salty in that little mark from the finger?
Right
salt?
Out.
It was salted caramel.
You know who needs to go to jail are those people that are going around spitting on things in the grocery stores and coughing.
No, they
stuff.
are. They're taking them to jail too. There was a lady who coughed on a cop and she got taken to jail. I think they should throw
bail, so she's just gonna get right back out.
Yo,
I think I might punch somebody if I saw them cough on something in the grocery store.
If you cough on the cauliflower, you catching hands.
Yes.
Well, there was that lady that did it in the
or
there
a
was that lady
watermelon.
who did it in the grocery store.
I mean, the watermelon I could spray off.
No, not watermelon. That's the bad choice. Maybe like a grapefruit or something, because I want to eat the watermelon.
Well, one grocery store had to get rid of like all their produce because of it.
Ghost isn't black. Ghost is Ghost. He's like, he got black tendency. Watching somebody fight and throw all the chicken in a Popeyes and not leaving immediately lets me know that Ghost is a real nigga.
But I mean, what?
No, because Ghost. No, but you also knew. No, you knew that the rest of the chicken though was going to be fresh, and that's why you stayed a little bit. You started deciding.
Maybe I thought they might give us. Honestly, for a second, I thought they might give us some free food. I thought they would give us some. I mean, if someone just comes in and is picking up chicken and throwing it and yelling and slams a drink on the floor, I feel like if anything, I deserve a couple biscuits or something.
Sir, I'm sorry you had to experience that.
I mean, if I'm a manager at a Popeyes and someone's throwing chicken around, I'm like, sorry guys, you can have. It was late. It was like towards the end, so I'm just knowing we're gonna get something.
Nah,
here's
that's
a sweet tea, everybody. Here's a sweet tea and 2 biscuits.
You're like, nah.
Here's a sweet tea and 2 biscuits.
All they gave me was yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more time for your order. No. Then I had to leave.
Ghost was like, I want my money back.
Exactly.
After he got his chicken sandwich.
I didn't get one that day. I didn't trust it.
You know what? No, fuck Ghost. I hate Ghost. Ghost has gotten a free fucking a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich every fucking week since the Rona happened. And he keeps throwing it in my face. He was like, hey, know what today is? And I was like, nah, what is today? He was like, free chicken sandwich day. I was like, no, fuck him.
Yeah.
And he's
Chick-fil-A's
driving.
Coming through.
He's driving like
coming through.
Well, you driving like 15 minutes for that free chicken sandwich, and I don't blame you either. I do it too.
That's nothing for a chicken sandwich. 15 minutes. That's around the corner. What are you talking about?
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. I drive 45 minutes for a chicken sandwich. for a mixed chicken, $1 too. I'll spend $5 right now in gas to get $1 chicken sandwich for free. All right, let's see what else had happened. A black guy kidnapped a white woman and made her watch Roots to understand how racist white people are. This shit really happened in real life.
Did she apologize after she watched it? I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Number one, in 2020 or late 2019, whatever it was, making somebody watch Roots is already like a big deal, just because the production on it is awful.
Yeah, it's not easy to watch. Period. But yeah, now that long ago.
Yo, is that a terrorist threat? Is that a terrorist threat? Like kidnap? If you're white and somebody BK, if I kidnapped you right now, and if I kidnapped you right now, right, and you didn't know
please kidnap me. I'm in quarantine.
No, I hear what you're saying. That Shaz, welcome to your life in 15 years.
God.
Yeah.
With a husband and a kid.
Be thankful you don't live with him during this quarantine right now.
No, Shaz is living her best life. She's like, I don't have to go to work, and I kind of want to see him, so right. I could just go. I work remotely from his house.
Put a bra on?
Pretty much.
Me, I think it was probably last time I put anything on with a hook or a belt loop has probably been early March. I haven't worn anything with a button. Nah. Elastic is my.
A couple times.
Elastic
I actually have
is
a dress on today.
Nah.
I actually put makeup on today. We had to go look at houses, so I put on makeup
what?
today.
How you go house shopping?
You can.
In quarantine.
You wear masks and gloves and.
A lot of people are going.
Shoe boot covers.
Oh yeah, a ghost. How is the housing market going right now?
I mean, it's about the same. I don't think it will be for long, but it's about the same. Now loans are kind of crazy because they're anticipating what's going to happen when people end up losing their jobs or missing payments and stuff. But for now, buying a house is about the same as it has been before the virus.
Yeah, Ghost, the market hasn't really changed.
Ghost, is it easier or is it harder? Because I would think that would be easier to get a loan if your payroll looks like you can like afford it. It would be easier, but then it would be a little more risky to give that person a loan. So what do you think?
It's harder because lenders are paranoid, and you can kind of see why. Because one, the market hasn't come down at all, and they're anticipating that after this is all over. Two, the other side of people not making payments you're not thinking about. Or some people aren't thinking about. So they're letting people, quote unquote, defer payments if they're affected by the corona, and they're not checking because there's so many people just saying, they can't check. So think about a bank, especially the smaller ones, that's allowing you to not make your mortgage payment. And some people are taking advantage of it, even though they can. There's not any way for them to get that money back. So, No.
My bank told me that we will let you defer 6 months, but after the 6 months, you have to pay the 6 months all back at once, or you have to refinance to add that 6 months back onto the back of your loan,
which is a forbearance. So it's like they're making it a forbearance, but how it looks on a like say for a refinance, for example, you can't refinance with a forbearance on your record for 12. You have to have 12 straight payments of non-deferment. So there's things that people are looking at. Plus, when you're missing payments, even though they're like most aren't going to make you pay it back, and most won't pay it back all at once. So that's 6 months that lender didn't get money. So the way to get it back is by having higher rates and things like that, and kind of punishing people who are buying in the future.
Does the Rona? Do you think the Rona is going to positively impact the buyer market or negatively? Let's get into our actually worth a damn podcast. Do you think the Rona is actually going to make a positive or a negative influence on the market itself?
It's going to eventually have a bad impact on the market because housing values will be lower. I think as a buyer now, it's not necessarily a horrible thing. It's definitely not a horrible thing as a seller since the market's stable. But I just think due to all the, I mean, look at how many people have lost their jobs or lost income, filed for unemployment and help and things like that. And fast forward 6 months, and people are back to work, but how many people are going to be laid off still because of this and cause them to miss payments and foreclosures, which means banks losing a lot of money, which means rates going higher or way harder to get a loan. So it's going to be a trickle down domino effect for sure.
But the prices are going to go down, so chassis wait.
I'm not the one buying it. It's my future mother-in-law.
They will. There will be a crash probably within the next 12 months.
Because
I should have waited to refi.
The Fed rate right now is 0.25, which I think it was at like 3 before all this happened, or 2 something before all this happened. But Ghost, does that actually mean anything to a person who's trying to refinance a home or buy a home now? The Fed cutting its rate.
Right now, no. So with the Fed rate, I get a bunch of calls saying mortgage rates are going down to 0.25. Like, no, that's just what the government's charging, like a Bank of America or a lender. So they're charging a 0.25, and they of course have to have margins. So their interest rate's 3.5 or whatever, and they're making the difference. But that's supposed to help stabilize the market. But lenders are so scared because they don't know what the market dictates for the rate. Should it be 4% or should it be? They don't know, because what's the market going to look like in 6 months? You can make a payment now. Can you make it in 6, 12 months? So that's why rates are, they're not bad right now. They're actually good, but they just don't know. It's unstable and just so unsure right now what's going to happen once the economy opens back up.
Yeah, I also think the forced reopening of, two things. The people who are protesting in Michigan and Texas in Florida about staying home and all that shit.
California too.
Yeah. There's a church. Let's talk about us home, right? I know that we are trying to make this like a big, wide-ranging podcast because we put this out all over the world and everywhere. But Sacramento hasn't really been hit heavy by the Rona. Really, we're a pretty populated city, and I think we only have about like 600 cases, 600 cases. Currently,
that's only confirmed cases, though.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, but I'm making that a broader point based on everybody, though. So I'm keeping it the same. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know how many cases there are everywhere. Period, because there's just limited testing. So at minimum, we have 600 cases. My next door neighbors, great people. They work in the health field, and they were talking about our hospitals and everything aren't really impacted by the Rona currently. And I was trying to tell them we were one of the few states who started the social distancing early, but that was because we had San Francisco. Because San Francisco and New York are unlike any other city, where everything is built on top of each other, not spread out. Like Los Angeles is a big city, but in order to get around in Los Angeles, you have to have a car. That's why traffic's so bad. Whereas in New York, the preferred mode of transportation is walking or subway or any of that shit. So public transportation, right? So that's why those two are outliers. But we can't take, because it's not bad here, I don't think we can take that and say that, we should be able to reopen our economy and stuff, because it wasn't bad in Louisiana 4 weeks ago. And now they're having a huge uptick in cases, but that's because they didn't take it seriously. You know what I mean? So all these people that are protesting, Sacramento has a Slavic church in Sacramento, and they might be a big congregation, but they had 71 people test positive for the coronavirus, and they said, "Don't tell us what to do. Don't talk about us. Don't say that we shouldn't go to church and we shouldn't do all this." And I have I support them in every one of their views. The pushback on that though is if you get sick, go to church and pray that shit away. Don't go to a church. Don't go to a hospital. Don't go to Sprouts. Don't go to Costco. Don't go to Safeway. Don't go to any of these other big businesses where you feel like it was okay for you to ignore all the rules for your benefit and then go spread that shit to the general population. So I have no problem with those people who go to church and have a huge outbreak. I have no problem with that. What I'm saying is when you get sick, take your ass back to church and pray that shit away.
Yeah, I mean
good talk.
I mean, people are being so even from the beginning, like, oh, I'm just going to get the sniffles. So why is it a big deal? Because you can give it to like 20 people while you don't have symptoms, and somebody can eventually die from it, and it's going to spread, even if the mortality rate, which is very high right now, by the way. But even if it's low, it's going to keep spreading, and we're going to keep being on lockdown. So you got to think about others and kind of be smart.
I don't have kids, right? I don't have kids, so. Let's talk about some doctors in our stratosphere who have been talking lately. Dr. Oz said, "Let's reopen schools. It's only going to kill 2 to 3% of children." I don't have a child.
Yeah.
So, but Dr. Phil, eat a big dick.
Yeah. How many? What percentage?
I hope your arms get bit by a fucking tiger.
I thought that was Dr. Oz that said that.
No, that's right. It's Dr. Oz.
Yeah, it was Oz.
That.
You're right. It was Oz.
Yeah, it's Dr. Oz. Dr. Phil's dumbass said, well, we don't stop the country when people die from cigarettes, alcohol, drowning in pools, and car accidents. I'm sorry, newsflash, none of that shit is contagious, bro.
No.
And I blame Oprah for all that shit. I blame Oprah for putting all these fake ass doctors in the general consciousness.
You get a corona. You get a corona. Everybody gets a corona.
Yeah, I blame. And let's spiderweb this shit again because let's play the Kevin Bacon game. Speaking of Oprah, Gayle King. Snoop Dogg went on this motherfucking apology tour talking about he shouldn't have said like nigga and dog face bitch and all that shit. Like, nigga, do you not understand that's the reason why we loved you? You've been calling bitches hoes and bitches since 92. What the fuck are you talking about?
His name of his song.
Like,
yeah, his ass wore a motherfucking turtleneck too. Like, you're in some serious trouble.
There's two reasons why you're
to apologize.
There's two ways you're in real fucking trouble. If you wear a turtleneck with a blazer, you're in fucking trouble. Number two, if you take your ass to the Red Table Talk, shit ain't right for you right now. Shit is going terrible for you. So Red Table Talk and a blazer with a turtleneck underneath. No, nigga, put on a tie and buttons. What the fuck are you talking about? Snoop Lion was out here wilding. What else we got? Who put, now it must be BK, when the last time you enjoyed silence? Who put that on there?
It wasn't me.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay, I knew it was one of you married niggas.
Nah, that was a long, I put that on there a long time ago.
I'm going to go last on this one because I feel like my take is weird. So I'm going to go last on this one.
Well, I can't quite remember the context of how it was brought up. But like, when was the last time you've ever heard like true silence? Like no noise. Like, when's the last time you've ever unplugged from a device and the world and just like not heard shit? Like, that's pretty weird. It's I can't. I wish I remembered the context.
Well, but let's talk about it. Rio, do you enjoy silence though?
I do.
So you enjoy when there's no noise, no anything?
Yeah.
BK, do you enjoy silence?
that never happens. So like, there's always.
I understand it. I think that might be the reason why you enjoy it because it's so rare. It's so different. I think if you happen more, you probably wouldn't like it, but but you enjoy it. Like as of right now, you enjoy it. BK, do you enjoy complete silence?
I don't know when the last time I've had complete silence. Because usually, if I'm in my bedroom right now, I'll usually be on my phone, even though it's muted, or scrolling through social media or whatever. But there won't be any noise in my room. And I do enjoy that, even though I am still on my phone. I haven't completely unplugged from everything. But no, I've actually noticed that I have been watching less TV by myself and
I
just
also think
literally
I've
just sitting in silence.
okay. Ghost, do you enjoy silence?
Yes. I think part of it is like I do enjoy the silence of not knowing about what's going on social media and stuff. I think that's a different type of silence, but I enjoy that. I also enjoy silence just um, in a day where I'm just reflecting or there's not a bunch of things going on. There's some good moments. Of course, gets awkward maybe after a while, and it's different, but it's something that I definitely like and enjoy.
Shazmataz, go.
I do actually. I mean, my job is literally on the phone talking to people that have behavioral health issues. So when my day is over, I like just silence or um, just kind of laying there on my phone or reading a book and no sound, no noise.
Um, I think I'm opposite. I know I'm the weird one in this whole bunch in general, but when the world or when there's no noise, period, my mind is so loud that I can't enjoy silence. I know that's weird, but silence is so loud to me because it allows my brain to over function a little bit. So like when I go to sleep, I can go to sleep with some help in silence. But if I'm going to sleep completely like sober, nothing's being taken. If I turn on the television and I have something in the background that I don't care about, like how it's made or forged in fire, something I really don't care about, I sleep like a baby because there's something in the background that I don't have to that allows me to focus on something. Otherwise, I'm focused on everything. My brain is constantly in motion. I am one of those weirdos. I don't say it out loud, but I do talk to myself in my brain a lot. I go over weird scenarios. I go over if, well, I know. All right, I'm gonna open the weird pack. Right? It's quarantine, but I'm gonna get in my bag. I talk to myself about what would happen if I died. I talk to myself about what would happen if my wife died. I talk to myself about how I would try to assist Rio's family if he passed away. I talk about how I would try to comfort Ghost Mom if if he passed away. I talk about how I would try to comfort Ghost if his mom passed away. I talk to myself about how I would try to comfort Shaz's fiance if she passed away, and vice versa, and how I would try to comfort Shaz if her parents passed away, and how I would try to comfort my mother-in-law when my dog passes away. Like all those different scenarios my brain goes through, and a lot of times it goes through at once. So silence is the devil to me. My wife always thinks it's weird that I'm always like plugged in or need some type of stimulation, but that's because my brain kind of goes in these weird like wormholes. And me and Rio have actually talked about like some of my preparedness, where I think about like because I'm okay. Let's be real. I love everybody that's on this podcast right now, right? And if something happened to me, I would want to try to positively impact everybody here. If something happened to Rio, I would try to positively impact his family and so on down the list. But that's just how my mind works. I don't know why it does that, but if I got in an accident, I kind of have a plan. If I got a flat tire, I have a plan. If I if I ran out of toilet paper because of the Rona, I kind of have a plan. Like my brain just goes through all these different scenarios so that I'm never caught off guard. And am I caught off guard sometimes? Absolutely. But that's why my brain kind of goes through those, because I hate being caught off guard. So I'm the weird one. I'm the weird one on that.
I mean, no, because I'm very similar in that way as well. Because I think about all that stuff, and I am the person who had N95 masks to hand out to close friends and family. I'm the person that had,
But you had them.
I've given out masks, ammunition, food. I mean, I've given stuff out because I also am that person that
fucking
Rio worries about things and thinks about that shit. And
Rio just described the Oregon Trail of 2020. He said, I gave out ammunition. I said you just described the Oregon Trail 2020. He was like, I gave out masks. I gave out ammunition. There was too much meat. We couldn't put it on the wagon. We had to destroy some of it.
It got spoiled.
Yeah. You died from
Bobby died of dysentery.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, silence to me is the worst thing that can happen to me. So when I'm cleaning in the house, or I'm doing yard work, or I'm working, or whatever I'm doing, it can't be in silence. I have to have something on in the background, because if I have something on in the background, it limits my thinking and allows me to focus on what I'm doing. So I guess I'm different. I'm the outlier in this one. I can't have complete silence. It's deafening to me.
I can't when I'm trying to sleep. Otherwise, my brain does that.
Yeah, my brain does that. No matter what's happening. So if it's complete silence, I have to turn like music on. Like when I take a shower, I try to wait till my wife is downstairs and everybody's awake, and I play music or a podcast while I'm taking a shower or shaving and cutting my hair, or I have headphones on no matter what I'm doing. Maybe I'm on the spectrum. Shaz, am I on the spectrum?
You're not on the spectrum.
I mean, you're the person that
I can tell you what it probably is, but it's not because you're on the spectrum.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't like, yeah. And growing up with so many people in like such a close, who has that's BK.
Sorry.
I was like, who has a cat? What the fuck? Yeah. Look at BK. I told you your people are crazy. Look at the cat king.
He is the king.
You are the queen, the cat queen. She is just the toned down, sane, non-mullet version of the Tiger King.
Yep, and this is my little Tiger King.
George Zimmerman sued Trayvon Martin's family for defamation, along with I think he sued Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete as well for they made some comments about him too. And I don't think we're ever going to get rid of George Zimmerman.
No, he wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to remind people he's still alive.
Yeah. I think if the Rona's going to hit anybody, I can't understand why it hasn't hit George Zimmerman.
It's coming to Florida, baby.
Is he in Florida?
I don't know where he is now. I don't think he's there anymore.
No, I think he's like in Missouri or something. But that shit sounds like tomato tamale to me.
Man.
Ghost, you know how I've changed during this Rona?
One way or another.
Ghost, I changed during the Rona. You know what I did during the Rona?
What?
I ate Brussels sprouts twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at me I'm getting my credit score. I ate one bite and I saw my credit score jump 15 points. It was like that Experian boost. It was like doot. It was like Mario when you get the mushroom.
Went up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome.
Yeah, Rio's a cook, so I've been trying to reach out to him for some.
Introducing black people to vegetables.
Hey, no, they put a pickle. No, they put a pickle on the. No, they put a pickle on the Popeye sandwich. Relax.
I know that's because I married a white woman and she introduced me to all this shit a while ago. So now I get to introduce it to my colored
You're
friends
welcome.
and see them. Yeah.
You know, if you just don't put salt on there, you won't die from high blood pressure.
Yeah.
You know, my wife, she just under seasons everything, and then it allows me to season just enough. Okay. Let's see. Let's get into some weird shit that's happening right now. Ghost. I know you haven't heard of this. So, Erykah Badu and one other lead, Gwyneth Paltrow. They are selling vagina scented candles. Let's light up.
Yeah, I heard about that.
What?
I think we talked about it. That's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why
I think.
Fuck is this a
I didn't
thing?
hear about it, but yeah, we talked about it. I think.
Yo, I think Erykah Badu's vagina smells like incense and like weed.
Cocoa butter. That's it.
Yeah, definitely some cocoa butter.
Like
Try some
definitely
some bees
a
wax.
bad combination.
No, it's not a bad combination. I'm not paying $76 to smell Erykah Badu's vagina. I could just go. Just go outside.
Like
I go to Rio's house.
In the movie Roots. That's what I feel like it smells like. That's what I feel like Erykah Badu smells like.
What does Roots smell like? What does Roots smell like?
I don't know.
Vagina, apparently.
It smells like a kidnapped white woman.
It's just like a natural, like, untapped. Just
so is that the candle to light when you're watching Roots?
Yes. You get the full, like, you got smell of
effect.
People are
You're there.
Smell of it right there.
BK, are you getting one? Are you getting Gwyneth Paltrow's?
She's getting Gwyneth Paltrow's.
I have my own vagina. I'm good with just that one, thanks.
You gonna light that one on fire?
In candle form?
No. I don't need to smell vagina, even if it's mine.
No, I hope we don't smell anybody's.
But what does Gwyneth Paltrow's smell like?
That's the whole.
I just cooked it 3 times. Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, her vagina smells like Brussels sprouts.
Apples and cheese.
Yeah.
Like a red wine.
Her vagina smells like melting pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Let's see.
Who is the tester for that?
I don't know.
Some weirdos. People from the like the Tiger King volunteers.
The idea to light to make a candle based on your vagina.
That's really arrogant.
Exactly. Like, you must have the pH balance of a goddess in order for me to think that I'm going to just light a candle that smells like your box. No way. No way.
No.
Hair? You think it smells like hair burning too? Erykah Badu's got a hairy vagina for sure.
That's what the wick is. The wick is like
it's just a braid. It's a braid with beeswax.
It's a braid.
Yeah. It's
a braided beeswax week. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Rio put this on here. Is cartoons with colored lead characters still racist? Yes. Depending on how they're depicted. Yes.
Which cartoon is that?
Well, so one thing I had came across. So thank you for jogging my memory, because I forgot why I even put this up. But I had read an article that was saying, so I think Chris Rock is going to be the lead in a new Disney movie. And I read an article and they were saying that every Disney movie with a colored lead character ends up like changing form halfway through the movie, or almost for the whole movie, because in this Chris Rock movie, he's turned into some like blue figure. I don't know what it is exactly. It might be a spirit or something.
It's the Black Aladdin. He's a genie.
Yeah. And so they were saying that since he's only depicted really as being black early in the film, that could lean itself to being still kind of discriminatory. And then they said in Coco, the Mexican kid was only Mexican for a little bit before he turned into a skeleton or some shit like that. And Princess and the Frog, same thing happened. So they were
What about
saying
Mulan?
that,
Did she turn into a boy?
yeah.
It was a reverse Dwayne Wade's daughter.
She wasn't included in this article's argument.
Damn,
and probably
Asians.
probably on purpose.
R.I.P.
But I just wondered how, if anybody felt like that would still be considered racist, or if that's just crazy talk.
No. I do think that the films industries, what's the word? I don't know the word that I'm trying to do, but it's like a fancy word for like leaning that way. Like how the film industry always, in order for a colored person's film to be great, it has to have like a little bit like either slavery or like some type of like historical, real life like fight.
But we're talking about just Disney movies.
Yeah, I'm talking about Disney. Like
There ain't
all of
none
them
about slavery though.
No, but it's always about like a broken home if you're black, or like trying to change like something. But all Disney movies are like that though. It's always like a broken home, or the bitch got to sleep for 70 years and got
the main component to a Disney movie is one parent has to die.
Yeah, there's always something. There's always something in Disney. Disney's always kind of weird. Wait, what was Little Mermaids?
Yeah, and the mom's
what was
not
Little
there,
Mermaids?
dies,
The mom died.
Little Mermaid was white though. We're talking about the colored leads.
Is there any like real colored leads? Like Princess and the Frog was like straight to AM/PM DVD disc basket. It wasn't like a huge motion picture release from Disney.
Yeah,
so which ones were like?
No, Tiana's still viewed as that, because I mean I have nieces and stuff that still she's a Disney princess like to them, but in the movie she did get turned into a frog for a bit, I think.
I don't think that's that crazy.
I can't
just get turned into a frog. Sounds like
she did get turned into a frog. She kissed him, and she turned into the frog.
Yeah, and then
along
she was
with
a frog.
Him. He was already a frog.
Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. They'll bring you down. They'll bring you down like, oh, no, you kissed a frog, you turned into a prince. No, bitch, you a frog.
He was already a frog
because she wasn't a princess.
Now help me. Help me get my mixtape out. That's exactly what he said. He was kissing me. Now help me get my mixtape out. No, Rio,
he did because he was broke. He didn't have no money. He was trying to get a
broke
princess.
prince. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Are there any others other than the Princess Frog?
No, they've never done this shit. They just started doing it because it's become a thing.
Yeah. I don't know if we can say a cartoon with a color lead is racist yet, because there's not many of them.
Well,
there's not many of them.
Well, I'm interested in knowing what Shazzy and BK's take on this is, because they probably have like Disney princesses that they like. They probably have a favorite.
Well, yeah, Princess Jasmine over here, but I'm pissed at the live remake. So.
That shit was like in April of last year, Jazz.
And I'm still mad.
I need you to let that go.
I'm still mad.
I know. I need you to let that go. Do you guys think that? Wait, no, hold on. Do you guys? Two things. Do you guys think Disney lead characters are like toxic? And do you think? Because I didn't think Aladdin
toxic,
was. Well, racist and toxic is kind of the same. So I'm just trying to expound that on for anything Disney because there's not a lot of Disney leads that are colored other than like Aladdin.
And
You know what I mean? So I think you kind of have. Yeah, I think there's only 3 out of their whole catalog. So I think you can't.
Well, and
No,
Moana.
not when you take into consideration the newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was Coco, and then now there's this Chris Rock movie, and am I missing one?
Oh yeah, Moana didn't
And
change
then Princess and the Frog.
No.
So they're 3 most recent ones. Their characters, but in Coco, like speaking for the Mexicans, though, like they really represented the culture well, and I could care less if they were all skeletons the whole movie, because your culture isn't necessarily simply identified as your skin color. There's so much more that goes along with your culture and how they represent it. And if they represent it well, I think we as colored people, as immigrants, we need to be also grateful that they are accepting our culture and they are trying to, do their best. And so I don't think you could be upset, because just speaking for Coco alone, they represented it so well that it's awesome.
I thought Mulan was also portrayed heroically too. I don't think that there was ever anything crazy that happened in Mulan. What was that?
No, because they called Mushu racist.
Yeah, that's why they're not going to have Mushu in the live action.
Oh, Mushu was my favorite, though.
I know, he's like one of the best
everybody's favorite.
Yeah, but they're not going to have him because they said that like it was racist. I guess
the black. If they came out with a Tom and Jerry,
like dragons, though.
If they came out with a
like
that's
why it's racist.
Yeah, well, it's like the fact that in the live action Aladdin movie they have a Bollywood-like dance sequence. Even though it's supposed to be an agrabah, which is Arab.
Shazzy's never gonna let this go.
How did they go? How did they go about representing the culture? Like any bits or pieces of the culture? Like what they did show, was it accurate, or was it just so bad that nothing was accurate and like nothing made sense? Or
I think my biggest.
Can they get away with it because they're in Agrabah?
I think they get away with it because they're in Agrabah. So, in the original one.
Is Agrabah real?
No.
Okay, then yeah. So fuck it. We don't know where it is.
Yeah, so they can get away with it. But it comes from the story of Aladdin comes from a tale of a 40 days, 40 nights or whatever. It's from this big book of stories. But my thing was with Princess Jasmine was she was such a rebel princess for that time. Like Ariel, she left the sea and she went on land, whereas Jasmine was like, no, I don't need to get married to be why can't I be a queen without having to get married and things like that. She fought that stereotype and married some poor boy, ends up marrying some
you can say peasant,
as they call him.
Yeah, you can say peasant.
He was a peasant.
Yeah.
He was a peasant. I mean, I think in the live action, my biggest issue was their casting. I had a problem with the casting. I had a problem with how I only watched it the one time and I can't bring myself to watch it again. So it's been over a year since I've seen it. But
is it that bad? Is it unforgivable to you, Shaz?
Yes.
Look at her face.
Wow.
You can see.
I know. No, I feel it through the phone.
It's unforgivable.
No, I feel it. Yeah, I feel it through the phone. But
you haven't watched it yet?
No, I'm not watching no Disney movies. I'm watching Boondocks.
Not even the live
Shaz
action
doesn't get
Lion King.
This
That's
from the guy that sits around and watches Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z is real black too.
Well,
we love anime.
About Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, see, relax. You gotta relax. BK needs more black friends. No, it's not kids show. There's some. You need to watch more anime. There's a lot of titties in anime.
Technically, Dragon Ball Z came out when we were kids. So
yeah. But
That's
no, but
awesome.
black people have always.
So did
I mean,
Rugrats,
look
and I
at-
ain't watching that.
Oh, I do.
That's also your fault. That's also your fault.
Yeah, I've watched.
Did you watch it when you were a kid though?
Hell yeah, every episode. I love Rugrats.
Yeah, because it's just acid. Is if you took acid as a baby, that's all Rugrats is.
Sure is.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
But
it's
no,
wild
I
when you
mean,
think about it.
I just like cartoons in general though. Like all these what's the best way to say these streaming services that aren't mainstream. Oh yeah, you like how I did that. They have a bunch of 24/7 streams, which Ghost has hooked me up on the best one, easy. But my lack of having silence in a 24/7 regular show channel is dope.
Yeah.
Because then I could just throw that shit on. And they're really just playing Sega. It's really me as a kid. Like when they get drunk, they drink soda. That's what I do too when I was a kid. One time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, and I think it was the first time I had ever. Look at Ghost. Look at Ghost. Ghost knows what I'm about to say. And I think it was the first time I had ever been around a
He found
fountain
the
soda.
chocolate bar in the ball pit.
No. This is the first time I had ever been around. This is the first time I ever been around a fountain soda
Unlimited.
dispenser, and I drank myself until I threw up. Like I got white boy wasted off of soda, and I was probably about 10 years old, maybe
I
7.
didn't know that was possible.
I literally laid in my throw up on the table as I threw up Dr. Pepper, root beer, Pepsi, Sprite. Like I just mixed everything and I went crazy. Yeah, that was my life. Like you don't know where they had fountain drinks. Like you're not gonna be able to tell me I get a fountain drink and a big ass rat gets to come play with me and shit.
Whoa! How did the rat play with you, Zero?
He touched me in places I don't want to talk about. He ate my
Got a free
cheese.
pizza.
He ate my cheese. He ate my cheese. But I don't know. I don't know, Rio. I don't know if we can. Well, what do you think, Rio? About do you think cartoons with colored lead characters can be racist?
Yeah, they can.
Now, do you think there have been some? I think there's some too. But do you think there have been some that have been racist where their lead has been colored? Because I think Tom and Jerry, they're both colored, and then the black mom, like the owner, where she's like Thomas, and she comes out with that fucking apron and the Aunt Jemima costume. That's just racist as fuck, but I love it.
But it was like the 50s, so.
No, I know. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I like
but
Speedy Gonzalez. It's racist, but I get it. Slowpoke, that's my
But the
dude.
context is
Rodriguez?
different.
No, for sure. For
So
sure.
they're
I definitely
different
understand.
times.
Yeah. So what
I
do you
feel
think
like
about
Yeah.
what do you think about that topic though? Like, do you think that new ones are being racist because they always have to like transform or something?
Well, no, like I was saying, like your culture isn't tied to your skin color. Your culture is much more than that. So as long as the culture is being depicted well, in my eyes, it doesn't matter to me, because as long as my culture is getting exposure, and as long as people are being able to understand more about my culture and who I am and kind of what drives me, I think that the vessel that carries that message, like, yeah.
I feel you.
No, I agree with Rio on that. I think if the research is done the right way and they portray it the right way, that's what matters. It's when they get when you get a poo from Simpsons, that's when it's like super racist.
Yeah. But what
I still
about
thought Apu was. I thought Apu. Did I think that he was racist? Yeah, I thought that. I think there's a difference between being racist and being stereotypical. I think there is a fine line there, and I think sometimes when you're portraying because Apu is not the only person in The Simpsons that is stereotypical. There's the janitor dude, you know what I mean?
There's a Mexican.
Yeah, there's a bunch
The guy from the novela with his bee costume.
Yeah, like to me, there's a bunch of them. So I get it, I do understand, but at the same time, I'm not Indian, so I don't know really what that portrayal feels like. So I don't necessarily know if I'm educated enough to talk about that aspect of it, but do I think that there could be a lead, and do I think you can make it racist? Sure, absolutely. But at the same time, I do think that there is a fine line between representing a stereotype, representing a culture, and being racist. Like I think you can do two of the former without doing the latter.
So Shazzy, what was your general feeling coming away from Aladdin? Like, I know you said it's unforgivable, but how bad? Like, what category do you feel like it kind of fell in for you?
Do you think hold on. Do you think that they tried to lump all Indian culture into one, and that's why, because you're Indian, you feel like it was a misrepresentation of the culture itself? Or
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's the thing is it's not Indian culture, but when you watch it, you think Indian because of how they've just mixed everything. They take Indian culture, Arab culture, Middle Eastern culture, threw it into one pot and mixed it all together.
So those little pieces that you saw, though, were they accurate?
No.
No? Okay.
No way.
Okay. All right.
It's like they there's like this scene in there where it's some type of event that they're having, and they start dancing. They do, and it was very Bollywood-esque because Bollywood's known for music and dancing and musicals and things like that. But it was to the point where it started happening, and I was like, what is this? And even the clothing itself and things like that, it was just a mix of everything put together. And Ghost knows this. Ghost knows how upset I was at the casting of Princess Jasmine.
That's
so mad.
I also did too. So were you just mad that because they didn't? Were you saying like stick to one culture, or did you think that it was just disrespectful to put all of them in there without differentiating between them?
Yeah, my problem was that it was more of like this seems like it could be this, and this seems like it could be this, so let's just put it all together. It's like, no, this is not. First off, it was not what happened in Aladdin. None of that happened in Aladdin. I even saw the Broadway play. None of that happened. And it was just, I hated it.
Let's transition to BK in Tiger King. Did you think that accurately? Yeah, do you think that accurately represented white culture and the way that white culture, like, you know how you can have like meth heads, you can have like that bitch Carol Baskin who got money, and you have sex cults, but it all kind of looked the same, just different. It was the same shit, different toilets.
Couldn't tell you. Never been around those kind of people.
You grew up in North Highlands. You've been around some meth heads. You might not have knew. But you grew up around some meth heads for sure.
Oh yeah, the meth part, yeah.
No, I get it. I was just
not the tigers, amputees.
No, if I knew that I could get a tiger for $2,600 and I could be like Princess Jasmine, my stimulus check would have been getting a kitty.
Has everybody gotten their stimulus check? I haven't gotten mine yet. Has everybody else gotten theirs?
No.
Man, me neither,
I got mine.
Wow.
What's in common with that?
Yeah, black people. We don't get them. Shit. We don't vote. That's why they don't care about us.
They said you late paying your bills. We're gonna be late paying.
I mean, did you guys file your taxes on time the last 2 years?
What?
What are you implying?
What?
What taxes?
Zero's black.
Rio, how did you get got?
It was a story about having a finger
You got a finger in the butt?
taken out of the fudge. Yep, out of the fudge.
Oh, you got to be
Out of the
quick
house.
with that story because I made some assumptions when you just said finger.
No, hold on. No, I didn't. No, because I'm still assuming that.
Wasn't
One, two, a little one.
No. Rio, I need you to. How did you? Because you put got with a capital G, capital O, capital T. Was it
I
a
thought this
thumb?
was Game of Thrones.
No, we talked about it earlier when someone fucking stuck their finger in the hot fudge that we brought home. Some nasty motherfucker did that shit.
Oh my
And I
goodness!
felt, and now
when you said
now I get to
fudge,
look back on.
when you said fudge, now that makes sense. Okay,
A misleading news article.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because you clickbaited me because I was like,
yeah,
you just read the headline and assumed.
I was like, wait, he got, and you were like, yeah, he stuck his finger in my fudge. I was like, whoa.
I didn't say
No
he.
way.
I said someone.
You didn't even know the assailant.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
you didn't even know who stuck their finger in your fudge. That's even worse. That's even worse. At least if it was a doctor, they were checking your prostate. But no. Has text messaging made you guys stupider when it comes to like typing? Like, there's a lot of people who don't know they're theirs. There's a lot of people who don't know that though is not THO. And I've realized that the more and more I text message, punctuation wise and like typing, I realize that when I'm trying to type like an email at work, I got to rethink my shit like maybe twice before I hit send. Cause I'll be like, yo, even though THO, I'm like, no, that don't look right. Cause though is a real word in my book right now. Yeah. Yeah. Though is a real fucking like, nah, even though it's THO. I don't know that UGH at the end. I don't know what that is. Text messages has definitely made me stupider. And I know stupider is not a word, but it's made me that.
obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You're saying
guys.
stupider.
Relax.
Don't say stupider.
Has anybody I know this will exclude Ghost from this question. Has anybody joined any of the Instagram lives with greats battling each other, like Babyface, Teddy Riley, T-Pain, Little John? Yeah, there's been a lot of battles online with rappers and songwriters and beat makers and producers and all these people. RZA and DJ Premier were a couple weeks ago. Has anybody joined any of those?
Nope.
Me neither.
Negative.
Yeah, me neither.
Now that we got that out of the way.
Yeah, I couldn't. Number one, the music's not good enough for me to listen to because it's coming out of my phone. Number two, no, I'm not doing it. There was a runner in Berkeley, California, who she was running and a person was cooking meat with their windows open, and she requested the person close their windows because the smell was offensive. And I think that lady should be
a different street, bitch.
Yeah.
Nah, send that bitch to Florida and ship that shit straight off into the ocean. That's the Atlantic Ocean's problem right at this point. It's not my problem. That does sound like some shit that would happen in Berkeley though.
Yes, I was about to say Bay Area. That probably is a weekly.
Oh yeah, I mean,
occurrence.
Berkeley did change all their utilities to. It's no longer like a manhole; it's like a person hole. And
that's
yeah.
Rio got his fudge. Rio got his fudge violated in a person hole. So since we're all quarantining, we'll end on this. What is the number one recommendation for everybody that you would say to watch or to keep you entertained in some way? We'll start with Shaz. What is the one thing that you're watching right now that is keeping you entertained that you think it's worth sharing with the world? Don't say Aladdin. Don't you dare say Aladdin.
Oh no! I
you know,
wasn't
She
gonna
wouldn't
say
promote
Aladdin.
that more.
I wouldn't. I'm not promoting that for. I would say, what have I been watching? Well, I finished Tiger King. I've been meaning to watch. What's that show's name? I can't remember. But there is a new Disney movie out called Onwards. That's a good movie.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, word.
I think it's
I
actually
have
pretty
seen it.
good.
Yeah, I've seen it. I guess I gotta. Yeah, okay, I'll check that out. Rio's the one. Rio's the guy because he watches a lot. Oh, he's shaking his head at this point.
Nope.
This is not a video podcast, so you shaking your head means nothing to me and the rest of the world.
I surprisingly, I haven't been watching much of anything. This was like a little bit before the quarantine started. I watched Ozark season 3. Ozark's an amazing show. I would definitely recommend anybody to go out and watch that. It's great acting, great writing. It just sucks you in. Other than that, I just started checking out Fargo. It's an FX show. I started watching it on Hulu, and it's about kind of like the movie Fargo, but I guess it goes deeper or kind of gets a bit more fiction thrown in there in later seasons and stuff like that. But so far, it's starting out good. I've only watched like 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay. Ghost. I know you said you're not watching anything. What book would you recommend for the readers out there?
Oh yeah, I'm not
Gotta
watching
file
much.
your
I would
taxes
say
to get your stimulus money.
under regular circumstances, I would say like the NBA playoffs, but those aren't going on. But yeah, Ozark is fun. You say that because I just was about to start watching that, and I've heard good things about it. So, but I'm always behind, so people have probably already watched that.
Really good show.
Yeah, I mean, I think since you said a book, I think the book that people kind of always refer to and they said to kind of open their eyes to a whole different world is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So that's always a really good book for people to read. And then besides that, like I'm watching cartoons. I'm with zero on that. I mean, because they don't get old and they don't disappoint you really.
Yeah,
so I'm on the cartoon bandwagon right now.
Yeah,
they don't disappoint me.
Racism.
Oh, you know what? If you want more Mexican culture, watch Victor and Valentino. Shit's amazing. It's a cartoon on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it's a newer cartoon.
Zero said it was too Mexican for him, though.
I mean, in a quarantine time, I might get to relate to you a little bit. But while the world was rolling, I'm not rolling.
It's okay for it to be too Mexican.
Yeah, I appreciated what it did. It just wasn't for me. BK, what are you watching? Or what do you recommend in these days? These end of days?
We actually were watching All American as a family show. And
what's it about? What's All American about?
It's about a football player in high school gets brought from the ghetto out to Beverly Hills. It's actually based on a true story, although we all know how that goes. Like Blindside, it's got some fiction in there too.
Of course.
But it's gotten all of us in our feelings. I've only seen my husband cry twice in our 10-year relationship. And he's cried twice. Yeah. He's cried the story to all of his friends that he's told to watch this show. He's cried a couple times during this show. It's got everybody in their feelings. It's got some good life lessons. We've had to pause the show and talk to our son about it. It's really good.
Okay.
We finished it.
Man, I'm a weird one because I like to watch cartoons more than I like to watch sports cartoons than regular TV. But I will say there is a documentary series. It's actually on season 2. For any nerd person like myself, it's called The Dark Side of the Mat. And what they talk about is like
The Ring.
A Dark Side of the Ring, sorry. And what they talk about is like old wrestling stuff, but they don't talk about like the storylines of wrestling. They talk about like the real shit that happened, like Chris Benoit killing his son and his wife, and then having like a ton of CTE and how like that whole story unfolded. Superfly Jimmy Snuka killing his girlfriend. It's just a lot of the scandals and stuff that I lived through in life, and a way to go back and relive
the screw drop gives you both the fiction and the fact with it.
Yeah, the Montreal screw job where Bret Hart left the WWF, but refused to give up the title, and then Vince McMahon said, "Fuck that nigga. We're gonna put his finishing move on there, and then we're gonna ring the bell and fuck you." In Canada as well. That's why Bret Hart didn't want to do it, because he's Canadian. So that's actually pretty interesting. There's a HBO documentary called The Scandal, and it's based on last year's NCAA pay for play scandal, and it lets you know how bullshit that whole shit was. Where it was pretty much, I forget the dude's name, but it was some old white dude. He got caught for being like an angel investor and paying all these players. Nobody knows who he is, so he told the FBI he could set up a bunch of coaches in the NCAA. The NCAA or the FBI said okay. He used a black agent who hadn't gone to college as like his kind of like the fronter of all the scandal. So he used this guy to give all the money to these big coaches. Rick Pitino, who's the guy in Bill Self, Kansas?
Kansas, yeah.
Yeah, Duke with Mike Krzyzewski, North Carolina, all these big colleges, and how the FBI didn't really want to crack down on them. They kind of did the Michael Vick thing where they just wanted the names. So they kind of funded all the other shit. And then it made me start thinking about sports scandals in general. Ryan Russillo podcast. Ryan Russillo, he's one of my favorite people on podcasts and on radio. He talked about how we talk about all these scandals and how they really don't mean shit in the long run, whether it's Balco with steroids. They had fucking senators and shit holding like panels about the depth of steroids in baseball. And Barry Bonds' trainer did time for contempt of court. The two journalists from the San Francisco Chronicle did time for not releasing their sources, and then nobody else who actually did stories ever did a lick of time in jail. So I just started thinking about how all these scandals that we actually think are scandals really don't mean shit, but the media has to slurp them up in order for us to sell it to us, kind of. So I just thought about that. Is there anything else that I think was really good? I mean, Ozark season 3.
Shazzy? Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
yeah, Shaz. Don't you say Aladdin.
No, my bad.
No, I said Onwards, but I did think of some other shows. Like
Oh, that's right. Shazzy did have a turn.
Yeah, but I did think of reality shows that have been helping me through this quarantine.
Don't you say 60 Day Fiance.
It's 90 Day Fiance, and that show
60 days in.
Oh, my bad, Rio. No. I need the world to listen to me right now. I need the world to listen to me.
Don't listen to Zero.
No. You should never listen to me, except for on this point. This point right now. 60 days in, if you have on
if you
demand.
ever take any
90,
advice from
90.
him, do this. Do this.
No. Shaz, I 100% agree with you that 90 Day Fiance is entertaining. I catch it when I'm going downstairs trying to make a sandwich or something, and I do get stuck for a second because I be like, yo, how the hell do these people find each other? So I do get that. But there is a show on A&E called 60 Days In, and they take 10 motherfuckers like us in this podcast right now, where we are regular people, and they put these motherfuckers in jail.
Oh, yeah.
And season 1 is, oh, okay, that's cool. Season 2 is, oh, well, that's different. Season 3, you'd be like, oh, okay. Season 4, 5, and 6, though, this shit's nuts.
It gets crazy.
Every season goes by. Every season that goes by, the shit gets crazier, and crazier. So I definitely will recommend 60 Days In. Motherfucking participants are walking around with shanks right now. And the 10 people.
What was the show?
And the 10 people that have been in the fucking program this season, 9 of them have like fucking quit, and they had to bring in like 5 other new people. That's how crazy this episode is. This season is nuts. What were you saying, BK?
What was the show that was based out of Sax jail?
Oh,
Jailbirds.
Jailbirds.
That's right.
I was so hoping that it would come back. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, they did catch one of those chicks. Yeah, they caught those chicks. They caught one of those chicks in my town. That was on Jailbirds. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I didn't watch the show, so.
This shit was hilarious.
Yeah, it's actually really funny.
We'll go ahead and leave it here. I want to tell all you guys I love you. Stay safe. You guys are the best. I'm glad we were able to see each other face to screen. And I hope you guys, your family stays safe. I hope you guys stay entertained. Ghost, this doesn't pertain to you. Shazzy, this kind of pertains to you. But BK and Rio, don't this shit's not that serious. Don't be creating fights for no reason, because I know.
Quarantine beef is real.
Quarantine beef is a grade of beef that I don't want, but it's in my house.
0 fights in this household.
That just means there's going to be a big one coming. That means there's a big one coming.
In my house.
No, but not I don't mean fights, but
squabbles.
No.
You be annoyed as fuck about them, though.
No.
Oh, you lying.
Oh, being annoyed as fuck. Well, yeah, maybe a little bit. But stupid shit. Like, why are you in my kitchen when I'm in the kitchen?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, those are squabbles.
That's quarantine beef. That's quarantine beef.
We're not yelling at each other or having a heated discussion or being petty to each other.
Those
Me neither.
internal discussions.
Oh,
yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
no. I'm not having like big beef. Mine's more like, yo, why the fuck is she putting mayonnaise like that on her bread? That shit is stupid. Why would she do that?
Stupid little shit.
Yeah, like I can't believe that she has the toilet paper flipped upside down. It goes on top. The fuck? What kind of monster are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. And I know that she probably just had to use the restroom real quick. She didn't care how it was put on there, but I went in there afterwards and I thought it was a big deal. You know, I could just took the toilet paper off, flipped that shit around, and put it right back on.
There is a correct way to put toilet paper on.
No, I get it. And toilet paper, yo, if anybody needs toilet paper, I got it right now, $20. Toast. Toast. I saw your eyebrows go up. I got it right now. Okay, Ghost. No, we'll talk about it.
I'm good.
I know Rio wants. I know Shazzy don't care because Shazzy got bidets already, but Rio wants ghetto bidets. Rio just wants to spread his cheeks and let the shower head hit it.
I just have to shower, baby. I'm showering.
See, that's how you got your fudge. That's how you got your fudge picked with your fingers.
That's how you got your fudge got.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, okay, guys.
Once you shower, all the fudge is gone.
No. The guy scooped it out. The ice cream man came. Ice cream man came, put the hot fudge away. But we'll leave it here. We'll try. I want to be back next week. So I hope you guys.
We ain't got no plans.
We right here. We ain't going nowhere.
Who knows? Next week, though, the economy might be open. These niggas don't give a fuck about us.
That
So,
doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out.
BK,
Yeah.
you can't go out. You ain't got no immune system. The rest of us
Sure
might.
don't go out.
BK gets sick.
Nah.
BK get deathly ill off of the common cold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I want everybody out in the world to be safe. Don't think this shit is like, just because it's not like crazy in your town right now, don't mean it won't be crazy in your town in a week. I still think that this shit's not going to go away. If you think that wearing a mask and gloves in public ain't going to come to your town, that shit's coming to your town, bro. Just letting you know that.
Order them now.
Yeah. If you guys have questions, these idiots have the answers. Okay, all right. Me. Got my tone. If you guys got, I forgot, Shaz, what is it?
If you guys got questions, these idiots have the answers.
Bam. You heard it from Shaz. We out.
Peace.
Later.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.